Hey everyone, I'm Stasia, and if it's your first time landing on one of my videos, I have recently lost 20 pounds in the last 2 months. So today's just a quick video talking about the top 2 things that I did to make the weight come off as fast as it did. Now, we all know that there's a lot of things that go into weight loss, so I really had to think about these two, and I would have to say that these are probably the 2 biggest changes I made that really got things moving for me. Now, I've been plant-based for many years, so being plant-based is not new to me. And of course, it's benefited me in many ways in terms of my health. I do have some gallbladder issues, but there's not much you can do about that unless you're going to remove your gallbladder, which I'm trying to keep my gallbladder for the time being and just manage it through my diet. But outside of that, I am pretty healthy. I rarely catch a cold or a flu. I've been really blessed that way, and I really feel that a plant-based diet has benefited me in many ways, except for weight loss. So my weight has definitely plateaued. It's been up a little, down a little, wouldn't budge, budged a bit, got excited, gained it back. I'm your classic case of just kind of all over the place when it came to losing weight on a plant-based diet. So with all that being said, you can imagine how excited I am that I have lost 20 pounds in the last 2 months. Actually, I'm happy to say it's actually 23 pounds now in about the last 2.5 months. I did just recently weigh myself this past weekend. I don't weigh myself all the time, so I just wanted to throw that out there. I weigh myself probably once every couple of weeks or so. There is no set time. Sometimes I just think of it and I'm like, oh, I haven't weighed myself in a while, and that's how I do it. So I'm definitely not checking every day. So it's a little over 20 pounds at this point, which yay, means that I'm still moving in the right direction. So of course I'm very excited about that, especially given my history of not really being able to get the weight to budge. Now, I've already made a video going into more detail about exactly what I did. So this is the video here. If you'd like to check that out to get the full length story of exactly how it happened, then I will have that video linked in my description box below. So I would go check that out. But today's video, I'm just going to be touching on what I feel the 2 most important things that I did to get things going. But before we jump into the video, if you are also on a weight loss journey or a health journey following a plant-based diet and you're just kind of lost about what you should be eating, you don't have any sense of direction, or maybe you're just bored of what you're eating, then I am having an awesome book sale on all of my weight loss recipe ebooks. Now, these are the same recipes that I am eating to lose the weight. I've also had some of my followers comment, thank you, by the way, for sharing your experiences in the comments, that they are also having tremendous success with following these recipes and starting to see the weight shift. I'm running a huge sale right now. All of my weight loss recipe ebooks are on sale for only $5. So I will also have the link to those books posted in my description box below. Okay, so number 1. The first and biggest change that I made to finally get things going was to reduce my overall fat intake. Now, technically speaking, I would have considered myself already low-fat plant-based, but I am someone who really enjoys my plant-based fats, and I never really thought that it was an issue before. I love avocado toast, for example. That's one of my favorite things to eat. I do love some nuts. I don't typically just eat nuts, but I do love adding nuts to my dressings. I do love adding nuts to smoothies, so I love nuts in that way. And on top of all of that, despite them being calorically dense, they do have a lot of nutritional value to someone's diets. So I always looked at it from that perspective that, well, avocados are super healthy for us and nuts are super healthy for us. But when it comes to weight loss specifically, I didn't really realize how much of an impact eating those things was having specifically on my weight loss. I really didn't think that by having avocados and nuts that, that would make as big of an impact on, I guess, my overall calorie density for the day, even though logically in my brain, I know that they are more calorically dense. I didn't really think that the amounts that I was having would be the reason why I wasn't really seeing my weight budge. And of course, I need to touch on this, especially if you're new to a plant-based diet. Please remove all of the oils. Oils basically serve no purpose other than to make our food taste good. There's very little nutritional value especially if you're heating the oil. Now, of course, there's minimal traces of nutrition when it comes to like olive oil and maybe some of the other oils. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert on oils, but what I do know is that they are super calorically dense and really don't do much in terms of filling you up. And if we're all being honest with ourselves, when we cook with oil, it usually isn't calculated and measured out, for half of a teaspoon or teaspoon. In our minds, we might think, oh, it's just a teaspoon or a tablespoon. But in reality, it's very easy to just kind of drizzle the oil on, and then before you know it, you've taken a meal that was maybe going to be 400 calories and now jacked it up to over 600 calories without really even feeling any difference at all. There have been a lot of studies done that show that it's not the actual amount of calories that we're eating that triggers our brain to tell us that we're full, but instead it goes by the amount of food, like the actual weight of the food that we've eaten in a meal that will tell your brain, I'm full. So when you look at it from that perspective, the oil is basically useless because you can still eat a whole ton of food, a lot of volume of food with very, very little calories, especially if you don't add any oil or any extra fats, then your stomach is still gonna feel nice and full, but without all the extra calories. And that is basically how calorie density works. Now, I do go into more detail in my other video about this, but basically I started to reduce my fat due to having some gallbladder issues. And I had no idea that by doing so, that the weight would literally be flying off. Like, it is so crazy to me that that's basically the most major change that I made. And here I am. So I haven't had any avocados, any nuts, any flaxseed for the last couple of months. Now, with that being said, that doesn't mean that I'm never gonna have this stuff again. Again, there is a lot of nutrition in those foods, so I definitely don't write them off as that they're like bad for us in any way. But when it comes to weight loss specifically, I think I'm going to just keep them at a minimum, as well as for my gallbladder. But one thing I wanna touch on is essential fatty acids. So that is really, really important. Our omega-3s are really important to get into our diet. And I don't like the fact that I'm not getting any of those in right now. So that is something I'm gonna move very slowly with in the near future by starting to add in some type of flax into my diet. But for now, what I have done is to eliminate all fats. And for now, I'm just gonna keep it there. It's working well for my gallbladder. It's working good for my weight loss. So that's what I'm gonna do for now. The second thing that I did, and I'm still doing, is I'm eating a ton, and I mean like a ridiculous amount of fruits and vegetables. So I personally love fruits and vegetables, so this part is not hard for me. I realize not everybody does, so that might be hard for you, but this is something that I've done that I also believe really, really contributed to this weight coming off. The reason why is because fruits and vegetables are so dilute in calories, and the amount that you can eat without ever really having to worry about that causing any type of weight gain, it just makes it magical. And even better if you can eat fruits and veggies before you even eat your starch. So this is something that I've talked a lot about on my channel. It's called preloading. So this is something that I do try to pay attention to, especially if I feel particularly hungry. It's always easier to overeat when we're really hungry, and then sitting down to more calorically dense food, that can just be a disaster waiting to happen. Well, in my case anyways. So I always find that if I'm feeling really hungry, then it really helps to just eat some type of fruit or vegetable just to take that edge off, and then I can go ahead and eat whatever starch I'm having. So often when I'm preparing my food, my heavier starch or whatever, then while I'm preparing that, sometimes I'll just like chop up a whole cucumber. And this is the other thing. I don't mean just like a few cucumber slices, for example. Like, my husband laughs at me because when I say, oh, I feel like some cucumber slices, I literally peel and chop the entire cucumber up and eat a whole plate. And, if I want a salad, sometimes I will just, demolish an entire head of romaine lettuce. So I'm not just having just, a little side salad or something. It's going to be a huge salad. Or tomatoes, maybe I'll chop up 1 or 2 tomatoes and just put a little bit of salt and pepper on it and eat the whole thing. So I definitely don't watch any type of portions, or I definitely don't go light even when it comes to eating fruits or vegetables. I eat a lot of them. I'm loving watermelon right now because it's in season. It's really delicious. I love apple slices, sometimes with a little cinnamon on top of it. My new obsession is spiraled zucchini, but seasoned the way that, you know, my husband seasoned it for me one time, and then I just kind of followed suit, and now I do it the same way. And again, I'm talking like a massive plate of zucchini, not just some little side plate of it. Like I will eat an entire plate of zucchini, and it's funny because zucchini is basically water, but it actually fills me up. So by the time I'm sitting down to eat like some potatoes or a bowl of rice or something like that, then it's crazy how full I feel walking away from all of that. So right now I would say that probably like 80 to 90% of my snacks are fruit and veggies. I try to keep it exciting by buying fruits and vegetables that I genuinely love. Like I love cherries and mango and watermelon. I mean, who doesn't love these things? But you know, I try to buy the fruits and veggies that I'm actually excited to eat because they are super delicious, and it's just a bonus that they're good for us too. But with the fruits and veggies, I find that it doesn't matter if it's 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock at night, and if I'm hungry, then those are the perfect things. Those are the first things that I'm reaching for, is some type of like, you know, non-starchy vegetable or some type of fruit. And that always, you know, satisfies me enough until I get up the next morning. So do not underestimate the power of fruits and vegetables, and don't be scared of fruits. I've been eating them like crazy, and it is not, you know, obviously hindered my weight loss in any way because I'm now down 23 pounds eating a ton of fruit. So please don't let anyone scare you about fruit. Fruit is super healthy for us. Like anything, be realistic about it. I'm not saying eat fruit all day long, every hour of every day. You know, we have to have some common sense with some stuff. But if you're just eating fruit like an average person eats fruit, then don't worry about it. It can only help you. It's not going to hurt you. All right, so I'm gonna wrap the video up here. Those are my top 2 things that I changed to lose this 20 pounds in 2 months. So if you are also trying to lose weight, give those things a shot and see if you can get things moving by doing that. And of course, I would love to hear about it. So leave it in my comments below if you've already started some of these things, or if maybe you're doing something different that's worked. And if you're new here and you're also on a health and weight loss journey and love this type of content, then be sure to hit subscribe, as I will be putting out tons and tons of videos documenting this whole weight loss process. I do have more weight to lose, so the first 23 pounds that I've lost is just the beginning. And I will also be sharing a lot of, you know, what I eat in a day videos, as well as just recipe videos showing you guys some of the meals that I'm eating to do this. So be sure to hit subscribe. Also, don't forget to check out that awesome book sale, because honestly, those recipes are so simple, so easy to follow, and a lot of them are the very recipes that I'm using in my house like today. So check out the book sale. The link is in the description box below. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and we will see you in the next one.